Hello, Mike.
Hello.
Creola.
Hello.
How you doing?
Yeah, I'm alright, thank you.
Thank you for coming in to the kitchen.
Yeah, man, it's nice in here.
Yeah, it's quite warm.
Mm.
We are doing the prees for Still Dancing '09, which is taking place at Cine Matilda in a week and a half on December the 13th, which you are playing at.
Yeah, baby.
You excited?
Yeah, I'm excited. I am. It's a chance to bring all this stuff out again and give it a go. Nice long set.
Yeah, couple
Yeah.
hours.
Yeah, no, I'm really excited, man. It's a blessing.
Yeah, Creola's going to be playing in the basement at Cine Matilda's for from 10 till 12 before breaker. And as you can see, he is going to be bringing an array of equipment, which I have no idea what anything does. But we've been setting it up. You've been setting it up this morning. Night,
Yeah.
as you can see. And we are very excited to have you because obviously Still Dancing try and do a lot of live stuff where we can. It's always quite difficult trying to get live organised, but we've managed to get it organised. And very excited to have you down and play some music, obviously. And just wanted to invite you in here before to the studio to, try out a bit of your tunes, obviously, and people can listen to it afterwards and see what you're going to bring down. And ask you a few questions about stuff you got going on. And obviously you've been in Sheffield for, I don't know, how long have you actually been? Did you grow up?
So I've been in Chef since 2010.
2010.
14 years. I'm just trying to get a bit of crap off this. It's another, yeah. Yeah, 14, 15 years now.
Long time.
Yeah, long enough, yeah.
Well, that sort of like eases us into the first question I was going to ask you, because obviously you've probably seen a lot of events and nights and played at, or so I wanted to ask, what has been your maybe favourite event you've attended / played at? They can be two different nights as well, because they might be.
So yeah, this is a tough one, because it's so easy to leave so many great nights out. I think one of the most memorable for me was at what used to be the night kitchen. It was called Dirty Little Secret back then, and first time I was probably like 19. One of the second night I'd been out at all in Chef for like underground nights, and it was Off Me Nut Records and Bad Taste Records doing like a spring bake party, and it was like the first time I kind of been exposed to all that crazy Sheffield bass lines that Off Me Nut do. That's just like so distinctly Sheffield. And so that was one of the most memorable. Obviously I didn't play at that. I hadn't even wrapped my head around any of this stuff by that point. But apart from that, played some great nights, played as it in bands, played it all over the city. A lot of that was fun. I think in terms of like our own personal journey with right tracks and plot and stuff, it's got to either be like playing on the Bowl Hills on the festival. Because it's our own event, so it's a bit of a cheat of an answer, but it was so special. That's allowed. Special to play, looking out over like Stannington and the Sheffield Hills, playing with my band at the time, Riders. That was like super sweet, really nice. And then some of the early Wub Club nights we did were really exciting, like in some little like archways down by where Niche used to be. And some of them parties, full of like Dolts and Deadbeat and Forcer, Thorpe, like all these like wicked bassline DJs, and then we were doing the parties for like free, and it was just like an exciting time for us.
Did you get to know them pretty quickly, those guys?
Yeah. From when we like started doing right track stuff and plot stuff. I mean, even back before like I'd been to prison and that, I knew a few of them from doing nights like Thorpe. He'd been around for time in Sheffield. But yeah, like.
Have you been exposed to a lot of bassline before you come to Sheffield?
No, not at all. No. That's distinctly Sheffield thing for me. Yeah. There's not that I wasn't super into electronic music before I come to Chef.
More bands and
Yeah. I've been playing instruments since I was like 13.
Yeah.
But kind of got into electronic music probably through like Prodigy and Pendulum and like them kind of crossover acts that are a little bit live bandy. And then I lived with a drum and bass DJ and a garage producer
in Sheffield.
Yeah.
When you first moved off.
Yeah. So I couldn't get away from tunes. I started putting house parties on. Started doing little nights and that.
Was it always sort of like a dream to sort of bring the two together, like sort of, like live instrumentation with electronic music? Because obviously that's kind of what you do with Creola, right?
Yeah. So for a long time, I was just playing with these boxes, making electronic music, and then playing in bands separately, and couldn't really find a way to join it all together in a way that made sense, or that wasn't just like getting stuck in some way or another. And so it's been a long time aspiration. I think the last couple of years I just kind of accepted that I'm a musician, I'm a guitar player, I'm a bass player, and I should be playing that if I'm playing, rather than just DJing or playing other people's tunes or playing electronic music. It's that I'm actually a player. So
yeah, for sure, a performer.
That's it.
Yeah, for sure. Well, in terms of like those nights that you start going to at the old night kitchen, what did you say it used to be called?
Dirty Little Secret.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
I mean, I went to a few night kitchen nights when I first came up, but it literally only lasted a year. It was wicked.
Great venue.
The actual space was so cool, and it's sad that it's not still there being used. I mean, I know that people still live down there, and there's a lot of sound systems sort of. Yeah.
They're doing whatever they're doing in there.
Doing whatever they're doing.
Yeah.
Big ups, yeah. But in terms of like the nights that you went to when you first came up to Sheffield and how they compare to now, I mean, I speak to a lot of people who've been in the scene a long time, and they speak about how not as many people are going out these days, and promoters are finding it incredibly more hard to sell tickets. I know you promote your own nights, and I do as well, and a lot of people, you got to put a lot of effort in to get the people down. And I don't know if you sort of like, obviously that's kind of like hard to hear, but like, is there anything you got to say about that, and especially about stuff that makes you excited for the future of the scene?
Yeah, I mean, there were so many great nights, and if we look back, across that 10-15 year period, feels like there's been different scenes that people have been into at different times when different kinds of electronic music were popping. There's like bassline's always there in the background.
Of course.
Well, then there's like a bit of a deep house, tech house era. I guess like just a bass music kind of wobbly kind of 130, 140 stuff era. Then drum and bass and jungle in different things, but it has changed, but I think it's reflected more broadly. Like, it's not just a Sheffield thing. I think people have, particularly after COVID, I think COVID's had way more of an impact than Brexit has, probably, although that hasn't, things getting more expensive and has impacted everyone, including the people who come out and the people who put the nights on. So it's kind of hard to put your finger on it, but I feel like habits have changed. Less people are certainly committing to nights early. They might still turn up, but you just don't know sure if they're going to come or not.
Yeah, it's like last minute, like you might get like 100 people buying a ticket on the day, and it's like, so like it seems like a lot less people are like buying a ticket. Like when they see the lineup, it's like, oh, that looks wicked, I want to go. They might see the lineup, that looks wicked, I'm going to wait until right to the end. For whatever reasons, I'm not too sure. Maybe
it's all right. I mean, I guess we just need to, I don't know, there needs to be more appeal, and it needs to be an exciting experience for people to go out, choose that over doing something else, or being at a house party or whatever they might be doing. But it's hard to know. But in terms of being excited for the future, I mean, I guess it's kind of nice to see so many different people running nights now in Sheffield, and there's a lot of smaller nights. I am kind of concerned about how oversaturated it gets, because like we're saying, there's less people going out, but there's so many people wanting to do stuff and wanting to DJ and wanting to play, and we've got to figure that out so we're not all kind of sitting on top of each other too much. But there's a lot of great stuff happening, and the crowds are good.
Yeah.
So I feel like the vibes are still there in Chef. I think it's
any particular nights that like sort of catch your eye.
Yeah, I mean, like I always rate what Display, Some Rays guys do. Drum and bass barbecue is pretty much the only thing that they're doing in Chef these days. But they used to slam out some amazing drum and bass nights, and always just like up there for repping that. Your nights are really good. Like the lineups have been super high quality. So
cheers.
So that's like a nice welcome addition to what's going on in the city, and I think they've gone really well. I've like in terms of other promotions, I've always been like a fan of what Liam's doing at Outworks.
Yeah.
And pulling in like real credible acts and like collectives into Chef, and always doing it properly in what is still like a gritty underground space. Do you know what I mean? And I think that's the balance that we've got to strike in Sheffield is like actually that's where the like exciting music's always been made in Sheffield, is like in these like disused meanwhile kind of spaces.
Yeah, for sure. And Dryad as well, top of the hill.
Dryad smashing it.
Yeah, with like the sound systems they have up there, the culture. Obviously, they have a huge sound system culture in Sheffield. It seems like so many are up there.
And they've been everyone involved over there has been doing it for a long time, and I think that's what's we're seeing now is like a lot of us who were doing parties like 10 years ago in different ways, whether it's like house parties or free parties or whatever. We've all kind of grown up a little bit and got our own little projects going on now, which is nice to see.
Yeah, it's cool. You can all reminisce to the days where you were. I didn't know you did stuff up at Bow Hill. That's wicked.
Not for 6 years now, but
I wish that still happened.
Watch this space, I guess. Hopefully, back up there.
That's exciting. It's a great view.
It's amazing.
I mean, I can imagine a party going in from like sunrise, sunset, sort of.
Yeah, proper nice in like August sort of time.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Come here for an after party.
Hell yeah.
Plot 22.
Sounds like some exciting stuff getting planned. Well, in terms of the Still Dancing nights, we obviously, me and Joe, who run it, one of our main things is trying to get live people in, and we saw you pop up. I mean, Creola had been going for how long now? It's not long, is it?
Not super long, like a couple of years probably. Just to switch up the name.
Yeah, fair. Rebrand.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we saw, I don't know what we saw, like, I think originally I saw you post a video of you doing like some slap bass. And I was like, to Joe, I was like, oh, I mean, obviously that was after we started renting the studio here. And like, we saw that and we're like, oh, that has to happen. It's like the most Still Dancing thing I've seen in like from a Sheffield based artist. So like, we're very much excited to have you down for the next party. And at Sydney Matilda is where we started it as well. It's just going to be quite special. And I just wanted to ask how, like, what brought you to start it? What inspired you to start Creola?
Yeah, it's a good question, really, because it's just kind of, I guess, come out of messing around with groove boxes and samplers from all the way back from, like 2012 or something like that. So when I first started getting into electronic music, but the name I had back then was Bourbon Muncher, which was just a bit of a joke, really. And I kind of like having a not so serious thing about it. But then at some point or another, I was like, I kind of want a name that's not as gimmicky,
right?
And but still bourbon related. You know what I mean? So looked into the history of the bourbon, and Creola was like one of the first brand names for the biscuit.
No way.
But it's also just kind of nice, distinctive, means different things to different people. Like, and it's got some kind of intrigue to it. So that's the name side of it. But in terms of like, what I'm trying to do with it, it's a mix of all the different things I like about electronic music and music, really. So, and that means there's more to come. Like, so I've basically done like house tempo stuff, either veering into like funky territory or veering into like acid, and just around that kind of general area. But I do want to make some more slower music that's not just
Okay.
for the dance floor.
Yeah.
Because it's a bit tiresome, I think, just making...
Can't be high energy all the time.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
I have the down-tempo funky stuff as well, so...
Yeah, it helps appreciate when it is like, well, even though you appreciate the down to the get to the high, it's like if it's always high, then you don't know where to go with it.
Yeah. You gotta build it.
Yeah, you gotta build the dance floor,
warm it up.
which I'm sure you will, down in a week and a bit. Yeah, I didn't. I'm assuming bourbons are your biscuit of choice.
Well, yeah, I don't know. Maybe they chose me. I don't know. Well, I used to eat them a lot when I was younger, and then before you know it, you just addicted to bourbon biscuits.
You're the bourbon muncher.
Just got to work through it. But yeah, still a fan. Yeah.
Is that on your rider? Packet of bourbon.
You know, it is, but it's one of them. It's like a nice to have. You know, you can't be bossing people. Like, you must get bourbon biscuits. But if you're getting any biscuits, get some bourbons.
I'm gonna get you some bourbon biscuits.
Everyone will have one of them probably.
Yeah, for sure. Just final question before we get into the mix was, I think I know the answer to this, sort of like talking to you a bit recently, but about your sets, it seems like it's completely improv, and yeah, is it?
That's a good question. Yeah, so that's definitely what I'm aiming for with it, is to have as much as possible. So the original idea with this kind of setup was to start with nothing and just like build it up from there, jam, and then you can move between different ideas like a DJ set, and it just keeps flowing, you're just adding more to it. But there's the typical way people are doing live electronic sets is with quite a lot of clips loaded up and playing the synths and tweaking the synths, but they're not playing anything in live, and they're not playing live instruments, which isn't to knock what they're doing, but that isn't what this is. But I do a mix of both things. Yeah, for this set tonight, I'm pretty much just going to jam from scratch.
Sweet.
For the gig at Steel Dancing, there's going to be a bit of like stuff I've been working on and a bit of completely live stuff. But in terms of like the instruments, I don't really have parts that I play. I just pick the guitar up and just
see what flows.
Just feel it out.
Yeah. I mean, obviously a lot of guitar elements.
But yeah, I guess you're just trying to keep it more fun, because I feel a little bit restricted if you just... It's like when you're DJing, if you're just playing 2 tunes and you kind of like, I want to be more creative from this point, or what am I doing? Then you could maybe split them up into stems, and then you can maybe get further and further, and then before long you're just like, actually I should just...
Do you get like a... Do you get like the sort of chance to sort of... Because obviously when you're DJing, in my experience, I quite like to sort of like react to the crowd. And obviously when I'm watching you... I watched your set recently that you posted on YouTube. You very engaged in like everything you're doing. And of course, because there's like a lot of different elements. And like, do you still get that chance to sort of like, oh, yeah, that's working? Or
Yeah, I mean, you kind of... You have to keep an eye on the dancers, but so long as I can see people moving in the peripherals of my vision, and they're moving,
sound,
that's sweet. Yeah. If they're not moving, then I've got to work on getting that person to shake a leg or something. But yeah.
I spoke to someone recently who said they literally just pick one person at a time, and it's like, I'm gonna make you move. And I was like, that's quite interesting, because often like, I'm like the whole crowd, but like if you just pick on one person, then it sort of like spreads. Yeah.
If it's one at a time, it's one at a time, isn't it? Like, I've played to one person before, and if they stay in the room for like 20 minutes,
done
that's
a good
compliment,
job.
Really.
You got small victories. Nice one. Well, thank you for talking to me ahead of the set. You're gonna play a bit of music now, which is gonna be a little bit of a taster of what you're gonna play down on the 13th. I hope you guys enjoy. I'm going to be sitting back here enjoying it. We'll get into it now.
Sweet.